computer audio then, I guess. All right. It looks like we're recording. Go ahead. Okay.
Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and start our annual business meeting. So please continue to enjoy your dinner. We're going to do things in a little bit different order tonight. We're going to record the annual business meeting, and then we're going to stop the recording because we're going to make the annual business meeting available for anyone who wants to view it. So we'll stop that recording and then restart a new recording for those of us that are attending tonight and the virtual attendees for tonight. So, if I can operate, I have to point this. Where do I point this? Hello? Where do I point this?
More meat is on
More meat is on the way. That's not part of the annual business meeting. Okay, Bonnie, I'm technically challenged with your little pointer thingy.
Let me launch this. So I don't think I'm sharing here either. Let me do that. Hold on. Share the screen. Share. Let's ask Terry if they can see my screen. Can you see the screen, Terry? Can you see the screen online? It shows that we're sharing. And it shows that we're sharing the screen. So let me go on over here and launch this. Okay.
All right. So we're going to get started with our annual business meeting. And this is something. So what I would like to do, ask everybody before we get started, is if everybody would please silence your cell phones so that we don't introduce any unnecessary noise into this. This is something that all chapters are required to do once a year, and this is just to try to, we would like to share with you the results of our, it's kind of a report out to share with you the results of 2018 from a financial perspective and some operational perspective, some membership data. I want to try to get through this in about 15 or 20 minutes so that we have as much time as possible for the programs tonight. Here we go. So to start out with, let's just review our mission and vision statement. You can find this on our website, but just to share with you, the chapter of PMI uses a friendly and individualized approach to promote the growth of the project management profession and best practices through high-quality educational events and networking opportunities in the communities we serve. That's what our mission is. Our vision is that we want to be recognized as a vital and innovative leader in project management practices and a respected community contributor by promoting awareness, effectiveness, and value to the local practitioners and organizations. So keep us honest. That is our value prop, or our vision. So, anytime you feel like we're falling short of that, please let us know, let the leadership team know, because that's what we're always striving to do. This is our board of directors. I'm the president. Teresa Eves is your past president. Your officers are Bonnie Crawford, Professional Development VP. Julie Farmer is the External Relations VP. Debbie Marth, Internal Relations, and Andrea Benson is our Operations VP. So we're going to go through each of the, I hope you can see most of that. You probably can't read all those individual names, but we're going to go through, yeah, it's got a little bit of an eye chart. We're going to go through each of the teams briefly, just to kind of let you get a sense of what some of these sub-teams do. So Bonnie's team is professional development, and she has 4 basic lines of business on her team. She's got Director of Conferences, which is Denise Stafford, who's here. That's the team that puts on the Professional Development Conference every year. So we just got through having our most successful Professional Development Conference ever. So yay! And some of those team members are here, and you'll be hearing from them a little bit later. Our Director of Speakers, that team is responsible for acquiring and going through the administration of finding speakers for all of our chapter dinner meetings each month, and then once speakers are found and secured, getting their bios and the topic of what they're going to talk about and getting all that posted on the website. Director of Workshops, so that's Claudine Alexander. So included in that team is the book club, Toastmasters, and all of the other workshops that you find online through Banyan, the monthly, the weekend workshops and those kinds of things. So all those programs are included in that line of business. And then the back office, Director of Professional Development Administration, includes just lots of back office functionality that makes the whole rest of this team work and supports the rest of the team, including something near and dear to all our hearts, the reporting of PDUs that we all love so much, and lots of other things, such as this rolling presentation that we see at the beginning of all of our meetings. So lots of work that gets done by professional development. And there's a color coding convention. Any of the boxes that you'll see on these teams that are red means there's some open positions. Bonnie is lucky at the moment. I think all her teams are filled, all her positions are filled at the moment. Is that more or less true?
You only need a speaker management person.
Speaker management person, okay. I have tried very hard to keep up with, this is a very volatile group. I'm trying to keep up with posting, keeping up with all the postings and the new names that are added. If I have missed one, I apologize. It's hard to keep up with some of these names. All right, Julie's team, External Relations. So the first on the left, there's a Murali Ramdas is with us. He's the director of the Registered Company Coordinator team. And I'm not going to list all the names. There's a slide right after this that shows you all the Registered Company Coordinator companies and the people that are in those companies. But Registered Company Coordinators are people who represent, they're kind of a two-way liaison. They represent the chapter to the companies, and they represent the company to the chapter. And that box is red because we're always open to adding new RCCs to that team. So we would love to have many more even than we have. The communications team under Rahila Bayani is the team responsible for sending out the monthly newsletter, the website, and social media. There are some open positions on that team for electronic newsletter, another member of the electronic newsletter team, and a proofreader to help us make sure that the content that we are posting is correct, because we don't want to make any mistakes. We have a manager of advertising and sponsorships. Brad Worley is in that role. And then we have a very active outreach team. Kathy Hartle, who, oh, by the way, is, as you probably know, our current VP-elect of the External Relations. She will take over for Julie starting in January. So she's currently in her 6-month transition period, learning from Julie that role. But she's at the moment serving as Director of Outreach. And she has a number of different outreach teams. There's the community outreach, there's the community outreach area, which is really not a standing team, but we stand up teams as needed to do different community outreach events, such as the Ronald McDonald activity team, which has met twice now. We did one Ronald McDonald event last year. Derek has done that twice for us, and several others of you have done that before in the past. We did it last October, and again just in June. I think we're planning another one in the fall. Give Camp. So Give Camp, We've talked about it a couple times before. The registration for Give Camp is now open, so that's going to be another great community outreach event. We have academic outreach. So we've got some members of the academic outreach team in here. We strive to do academic outreach at all kinds of academic levels, the college level, the K through 12 level, lots of really exciting things, activities, and ideas going on in that area. We have a very vibrant military outreach team. Teresa Eves, our past president, is also the leader of that team. A number of very active folks in that role. They reach out and are very involved in some of our local veterans groups and military installations. They do training through a partnership that Teresa has with a company. They do P&P training to active military veterans and their spouses. And then we have a manager of a young and emerging professionals team and a young and emerging professionals team group. And that team, as well as the military outreach team, is red, because we're always looking for new members of that team. We also have a open position for a public relations special event coordinator. And this is a person that would we get a number of requests from these outfits that want to set up those conferences, like at the Urban Convention Center, the Interface and Interact, and they all have similar names, but they reach out to us and they want to have us set up tables at their events for their career fairs, and we just need someone to interact with those vendors and help get the table set up and do the logos and things like that. So if you're interested in being that type of a liaison, that's an open position. This is our registered company coordinator slide. So you can see the different companies that these are some of our largest companies that we have presence in the Tarrant County area. But as I said, there's hardly any company too small. If you've got 3 or 4 people in your company that do project management, Derek and I were just talking at dinner tonight about how they don't have RCC at their company and they do project management work, and so I said, Derek, why don't you think about stepping up and doing that role, because it's somebody that represents project management and helps promotes the profession within your company. It's a great role to have. All right, internal relations, Debbie Marth. Whereas external relations is the external face of the chapter to outside entities, Debbie's team is the face of the chapter inward. So represents the chapter to members and volunteers and kind of inward to the organization. So she's got Sandy Harris is the director of membership, and she has some open positions. So she needs some help. So if you are interested in doing anything with membership, you should seek out Debbie. So she's got a director of member services open, a director of volunteer management open, and a job board manager position that's open. Andrea Benson is our VP of operations. So operations does a lot of the, it covers finance, governance, and technology primarily. So Andrea has a chapter secretary open. Glenn Mizell serves as our director of finance. Rich Shriver serves as our director of technology. So Rich is very involved in our current conversion to a new web platform. We have a director of administration. Actually, that one has just been filled. Is that?
No, it's the SharePoint.
I'm sorry. Okay. The director of administration is open. The SharePoint systems administrator is just filled. So I need to fill that one in. We'll talk offline about that. So and then we have an event registration coordinator position that's open. All right, so that's kind of basically the team. I want to share with you, we are an award-winning chapter, and we have many awards that go back all the way to 2010. We've won Chapter of the Year as a medium chapter 2 years in a row. And then after that, we won many other types of awards, and through 2015, when Brad Worley got Chapter Volunteer Award, but Volunteer of the Year. But for the last 2 years, we have received PMIEF's Community Advancement Award. Teresa Eves got it in 2017 at the individual level for her work with Empower, doing training with veterans. And then we won it last year as a chapter for our work with the Prison Entrepreneurship Program, teaching project management to the inmates at that prison. So we have a long list of awards, and we're not gonna stop there. We're gonna continue trying to get more awards. So we'll wait and see what happens next year. All right, so these are some key metrics that we can get about our membership. So we just this past year crossed over the threshold to the large chapter size. So PMI measures all their chapters according to some certain boundaries. I think it's 0 to 500 members, you're a small chapter. From 500 to 1,500 members, you're considered a medium chapter. When we won the chapter of the year, it was in the medium chapter size. Over 1,500 members, you're considered a large chapter, in the same category with the big boys like Washington, D.C. that have like 20,000 members. So just this past year, we crossed over the boundary and for the first time became known as a large chapter. So our current membership count, I believe, as of this month is like 1,749 or something like that. You can see how it's trended over the past couple of years. It continues to go up. Our credential holders, by far still the largest ones are PMPs. We have some, next largest one is the ACP. We have some CAPMs and a few of the others sprinkled in there. Our chapter growth, as you can see, as of the middle of last month, it just continues to trend upward, and we are on a path to probably exceed, I don't even want to project what it will be by the end of this year, but it's very healthy growth last year and continues to grow very healthily this year. So you guys all took I don't know if all you guys took it, but we encouraged everybody to take the annual membership survey that came out in February, and some of you did. And when we get those results back, PMI always shares the results with us as compared to other chapters in Region 6. We're part of what's known as Region 6, and there are about 28,000 or so members also in Region 6. Region 6 includes chapters in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, a bunch of chapters in a bunch of states in the south central area of the country. And what you hope to do is fare better than the other chapters in the region. And I'm very proud to say that we did that. We fared better than the other everybody else in the region in all of these different areas. We were, overall satisfaction, our chapter 74% as compared to the region of 68%. Likelihood to recommend the chapter 78% as compared to the region 72%. Likelihood to renew chapter membership 77% as compared to the region 75%. And overall value of chapter membership 63% as compared to the region 55%. I'd love for these numbers obviously to be in the 90%, but we are very honored to have good, what PMI considers good results. So thank you all very much for those results if you took the survey. And as always, we are always looking to improve. So anytime you know of anything that we can do better to serve you, please always reach out to me or any one of the members of this leadership team and let us know how we can serve you better. All right, so we want to share with you now some of the highlights of our activities as a leadership team, and it's a chapter from 2018, and then we also have some highlights year to date in the first 6 months of this year. So some of the highlights from a membership perspective last year, we began posting, one of the things we heard loud and clear both last year and again this year was that members want, and this is wonderful news, members want to be more engaged with the chapter from a volunteer perspective. And one of the challenges was, it was hard to know how to do that. Some members say they don't know what volunteer positions are available and how they can be involved. So we scratched our heads a bit, and we're continuously trying to get better at that. We've done some things this year where we sometimes it's good just to be low tech. We bring pieces of paper to these meetings and pass them out with the volunteer positions that are available. Sometimes when we go around and talk to people and try to find out what people want to do. But one of the things we did last year is we began leveraging PMI's tool for that, VRMS, the Volunteer Resource Management System. We began getting better at posting all of our positions and trying to keep them updated on VRMS. And each of the officers took responsibility for their own portfolio of volunteer positions and keep them updated so that if you are, and all PMI members can have a profile on VRMS so that you can go out and declare your interests as a volunteer, and then you can go look and see what positions are open in the chapter and apply for those positions and start the application process. For several years in a row now, we've had our annual career night, and it's been very popular. It's one of our more popular monthly chapter events. We had that again last year. We will have it again next month. And I'm telling you, next month, you don't want to miss it. It is quite the lineup. We have a huge number of tables. But last year we had our annual career night again, as we've had for several years in a row. We had a speed mentoring event, and this is where, kind of like speed dating, we had people show up to declare themselves kind of as an expert in some topic, and then you could also show up and say, I want to learn about various topics, and then you kind of moved around from table to table. It's kind of a fun event. And again, that was one where we kind of didn't know how that was going to work out, but to our surprise and delight, people loved it. You know, I mean, it was just, the more we found that we mixed things up and tried different things, people seemed to like that. And then we had our new member packets that we did last year. So those were kind of some different things that we did from a membership perspective. From an outreach perspective, did lots of really new and different things that we were excited about last year. Taught project management in the prison entrepreneurship program, which, as I've already shared with you, PMI really liked that program, and they gave us an award for it at the annual LIM conference last year. We did our first outing at Ronald McDonald House in October, prepared a meal for them, and had great success, had a blast doing that, so much so that we did it again just last month, and we are planning to do a third one in the fall. For I don't know how many years in a row we've done this, we sponsor, every year in January, there's an annual engineering week at UTA where middle school kids they call it their Future Cities competition, where they create this big city model. Our chapter sponsors an award, we call it the Riskinator Award, and we, several of us go out and judge their models. But for a few years now, PMIEF has sponsored, has given the Future Cities organization some money, and they have started to incorporate a project plan into the requirements. So now the kids, in addition to building a model and having to do a Sin City and all that other stuff, they have to create a project plan as well. So a couple of us in this chapter have graded the project plans of the North Texas teams. And then we also last year partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Tarrant County and did a couple of things with them. We taught project management to their staff at the Greater Tarrant County group and met some of their folks in their staff, and we also participated in a youth career fair for one of their clubs. From an events perspective, we implemented a meetup group just last year. That was the first year we implemented the meetup group, and had a number of just social non-PDU meetup events, very popular. Several of the members that are in here tonight, I think, came for the first time to one of our meetups, and that's how we met them. And we see all kinds of different people that we would never expect to meet at those meetups, but it's just a social gathering kind of thing, and it's been very successful for us. We offered 8 PMP and ACP exam preps by partnering with some different vendor partners. Hosted our award-winning, not award, I won't say award-winning, but our very successful professional development conference, so much so that we actually created a presentation about it and called Recipe for Success that we presented at LIM last year. We was met with a lot of accolades there, and conducted a peer mentoring meetup. So using the meetup group that we created, we actually had a One outing that was for PDUs, where we used it as a way to do a peer mentoring type of activity. All right, so now let's talk about some of the things we've done. That was all in 2018. Let's talk about a few of the things that we've done year to date this year, in just the first 6 months of this year. So from a membership perspective, Debbie has revamped the new member and volunteer virtual orientation webinars. So she's conducted, I don't know, how many webinars have you done already? You've done 2 webinars and had, you know, a lot of really good participation from new members and volunteers, you know, that join the chapter and want to learn what it is, what it means to volunteer and how to get started. So that was a kind of an old format before, and she's brushed it off and had a lot of new polish to it. So had a lot of good feedback about that. We've implemented a new program, Volunteer of the Quarter, and we will be awarding that award tonight for the Q2 winners. We created new positions for opportunities to engage a lot of volunteers. We've again, you know, tried to keep our VRMS positions updated, and tried to do some new and creative things to have ongoing communication of all our volunteer opportunities. Again, we hear you that you want to know more and keep informed about how to volunteer and stay volunteer with the chapter. So we're always looking for new and better ways to do that. From an outreach perspective, excuse me, we repeated the Ronald McDonald House outreach event. We refocused our young professionals to young and emerging professionals, kind of following PMI's focus on, it's not just about age, it's about being an emerging professional. So you might be someone new to project management as an older person rebranding your career. We introduced the Give Camp event. So that's an event that's going to happen starting in September, where project managers, business analysts will get together and lead a team to do some IT work for a nonprofit that needs some IT work. I'm really excited about that event. And again, we'll sponsor the Engineering Week Future Cities competition. From an events perspective, we acquired this new venue here at Texas Star for our monthly dinner meetings. We've been very happy with that. We offered virtual attendance for these meetings, something we had never done before. Hosted the most profitable and highly attended professional development conference ever, and we are now reporting PDUs for the professional development conference, something that we have never done before. So Bonnie's team has taken that on and reporting PDUs for all the attendees. And we are offering virtual lunch and learn sessions. So you now have the opportunity to have sit at your desk and just have a virtual lunch session and get a PDU at lunch. From a operations perspective, something that you might not be aware of is that we used to have all of our money at Wells Fargo, and both our checking and savings account. And if you've looked at your savings account lately and you've seen what kind of interest you get in a standard bank account, it doesn't make very good interest. And so from a, being fiduciary, financially responsible perspective, we knew we could do better. And so we actually were able to create a relationship with a financial institution where we were able to take some of that savings money and put it in some conservative and safe financial vehicles, but in a way that would beat inflation. And we've already, I think Glenn said, we've already earned more money in the first couple of months doing that than we earned all of last year. And so we feel really good about that. We were earning like 0.01% or something pathetic like that last year. We, of course, implemented the credit card on-site payment system, which some of you have probably availed yourself of here at this chapter dinner meeting. And we used that at the PDC, so that was a big win. And as many of you know, we're in the middle of implementing a new website system. And I think Rich is going to solicit, he's looking for some guinea pigs to help break it when we get into the testing phase. So if you like to test and break websites, go see Rich back there in the back. He's recruiting you. And then finally, from the communications team perspective, they spent a lot of time, the first 3 or 4 months of this year, trying to just reformat the newsletter. Get a totally new format, better, cleaner structure, and restructure the website pages, getting more updated, fresher content. So the team has been very busy already in the first 6 months, and they've done a lot to meet a lot of the goals that they set for themselves. All right, so these next couple of slides, I'm actually going to go to this next slide because it does a better job of, I think a picture is better than a bunch of numbers. So people always ask us, why do we have our chapter dinner meetings, where we have them, and why don't we have meetings in downtown Fort Worth, and why, or in Southwest Fort Worth or something. And when we were looking to choose this venue, we always update we always look at the data of where people live and work. So this graphic here shows a data gathering exercise of where members live and work. And we get this data from PMI.org. So if your data at PMI.org isn't been updated, then you should probably go update your data. But based on the data that we get, and we refreshed this data right before we were out looking for a new venue, but it clearly shows you our sweet spot is this upper right-hand northeast quadrant. And that's why if we have a single place that we have to set as our monthly chapter dinner meeting, it has to be in that kind of north of I-30, east of I-35 kind of area. And that doesn't mean that we can't do other things in other areas. We have that meetup group, we have workshops, we can do other creative things in other areas. Or if some of you have a company that you would like to offer up as a venue for a workshop, we have other things we can do. But from where do we want to have our monthly chapter dinner meeting, that graphic right there tells us where we have to be, where most of our members and prospects live and work. All right, this is our financial report for 2018. And I'm gonna ask one of our financial expert, Andrea, our financial officer, to come up and present this data.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson. Here's our clicker if you want. Okay, thank you. Okay. Annual. You can look at it better over here if you want. Okay. Maybe I should do that. So this is our annual financial report for 2018. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Online,
Okay. So if you look at our 2018 registration, for 2017, 82,657,000. And we had a gain in income of 25,956,000. Most of our income comes from you guys. It comes from your memberships. It comes from PDC, dinners, and that's how we get our revenue. I hope to have a slide. Let's see. All right. So if we look at our cash that we had in 2018, $95,000, and our savings, it was $100,000. And on that $100,000, as Cindy mentioned, we're now investing. We made $60 on, I'm sorry, I'm gonna put this here, so, yeah, not gonna work. But, so in 2017, out of $100,000 that we had in our savings account, we earned only $60. We have now started investing in, I guarantee you the numbers will look much better next year. So for 2019, we have workshops that totaled our registrations of 58,534. our income for 2019 right now was 91,000. Our total expenses was 58,000. So we had an income gain of $33,000. And again, that about tells you our numbers. But again, I'd like to tell you, I'm going to go off script here and tell you where we get the money from. Usually it's from workshops, again, your memberships, as well as the PDC, again, was a big revenue gangbuster for us. We're in money. We just knocked it out of the box. We also, with this year's PDC, we were fortunate enough to have a young lady on our team that actually went out and she just dog-hounded sponsorships. I mean, some of the things that we got freebies on, the freebies in the bags, as well as freebies, just the swag. Normally we pay for that, so that's taken a decrease from our revenue. She went out and actually got a lot of things free for us. So we really made a lot of money this year on the PDC. Again, gangbuster, and I'm just so proud that of this year's commitment to the professional development growth. And that about sums it up unless someone has questions for me. All right.
Thank you, Andrea. All right, that's it. That's in the financial or the business report, other than to say thank you. We love our members and we love our volunteers. So we appreciate it. And at this point, I think we're going to end this recording so we can get on with the rest of it. So we'll wait until I know that you're in.